Case cover collision. Each and every week I choose a different movie and look at the different case covers for that movie and put them up against each other to find out which one is the best on Case Cover Collision. Now, this week on Case Cover Collision, I will be looking at the movie The Crow. And I've got a 4K Steelbook because they've got some new releases coming out soon and a Blu-ray of that movie as well. But let's talk about this movie. First of all, this was released in the 90s. Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee, fantastic performance. A lot of tragedy over this movie as well. You know, he sadly passed away during the filming of this movie due to a gunshot with a prop gun, I think it was. And it is a really, sad story, but they really accomplished a remarkable thing in completing this movie, and it doesn't feel like he's missed in this movie because they've shot it really well. He's very much a big part of this movie. You know, his scenes are remarkable. I only watched this over the first time for the first time maybe in the past 5 years or so, and it is one of my favourite movies, The Crow. I think it is an absolute classic in my mind. I feel like as well that maybe when we used to do maybe on a previous version of Case Cover Collision, we've looked at this movie before. I feel like maybe when we used to the sort of like a different version of this segment on the show a few years back. But it doesn't matter because there's some new releases to discuss, and I think these case covers are looking awesome. But yeah, great movie. I'm not kind of all in on this, this new remake they're on about doing. I've seen the trailer. It just doesn't do it for me. I think kudos if they're gonna make movies, fine. They're gonna do it. It's not gonna change my opinion. The original was a classic. I don't think I'd watch the new one. I just don't. I have no intention of watching it, unless it's just on TV sometime. Maybe I turn it on to see what it's like. But yeah, I've not really got the interest in watching it. I don't think it's one I'm gonna jump to watch when it comes out. But yeah, the original, if you've not watched it before and you like that, like sort of like noir tone, very, very. How can you really describe The Crow as a genre? I think just a great movie. It's just a great movie. Very dark tones to it, dark themes. Very, there's violence in this movie. But it's a really great story. Great story, a guy who dies, but he comes back as this Crow character. This guy wearing makeup who wants to avenge the people who killed him and his girlfriend. It's such a top story. It's brilliant. I love it. Absolutely love it. But let's get into it. Anyway, Case Cover Collision. First of all, we're going to look at the new upcoming, I think this comes out in June actually, the 4K standard release of this cover. And man, this is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You see here, this cover is using colours black, white, and then there's like a light blue in there as well. Brandon Lee's a crow in the centre, and it looks like it's like raining in the background. He's walking in the city streets, and he's looking at the camera. It's a long shot. You can see all his body in the rain, like dripping down his hair. You see his hair all wet. He's got the makeup on, the white makeup, and the white and the black makeup, brilliant. In the background, then you see like the sort of like angel's wings in a white colour behind him as well, and he's wearing a black suit. And again, it's like you see the background, the sky's all black, and there's like a light on him, and on the in the path behind him, and the path below him, a white light shining down on him, kind of like he's sent down from the heavens to do God's work. But he's the Crow. He's just to kill all the criminals who killed him. Above that, then you've got the Crow title in a large text, and it's got like this like blue outline around it, this like blue light colour to kind of give it a bit of contrast as well in there. And above that, you've got, again, quite large, different font, Brandon Lee, the name of him, the actor, sadly, who passed away. I love this cover. I think it's so well done, this cover. You only have to feature his character on the front cover, and you can see it just looks visually great. I mean, you could have done it a bit differently, I suppose. You could have had him a bit more of a close-up shot, but I think it really works well. This movie's him going around the streets trying to find the people who killed him. in one night. And this is basically what this cover is. He's sent down to do the job he's got to do. He's got to kill those people, and it's a cracking cover. I love the colour. Just a black and white, very simple colour scheme, but it works with this cover, with this movie. I think this is a solid cover. This is going to be a hard one to beat for sure for me. Let's now move on to the Blu-ray cover of this. So this is the Blu-ray and digital cover of The Crow. Now, a similar type of feel for this one, but a bit slightly different. So it looks, it's very much like the similar shot, if not the same shot. It looks a bit more blurred out, but the background is more white, this background. Less of the black colour. It's more like a white background. He's, again, on the city streets, and there's rain in the background, but it's a lot lighter. The white background is clearly more impactful on this one. At the top of it, you got Brandon Lee, smaller this time, in a black text. Then you see him, in that long shot again, walking, looking towards the camera. Then you've got that symbol in front rather than behind him this time. I think it's angel wings, or am I missing something that I'm missing from the plot? It's a crow, isn't it? What an idiot I am. Oh man, what an idiot. It's a crow, isn't it? It's the movie's called The Crow. It's a crow. In a white on his chest. This time it's the same font, but it is in a red colour. So we see the crow, it looks a bit larger, and it's across. He's kind of like just below his chest here. And then you see, again, all the city landscape, and it says here, tagline, a stunning work of visual style. I like this cover. Again, it's very similar to the first one, but it's just a kind of a different take on it, a different colour scheme, really. More going into the first one was like black and white. This one is more of a use of a white and red with the logo. But I do like this one. For me though, the standard 4K beats it so far. I think that one's the best one so far. Even though this is a great looking cover as well, would make a great poster in a movie room. I do like that 4K standard cover. I think it's a beautiful cover. Next, we move on to the final final cover for this edition of Case Cover Collision, and we've got the Crow Steelbook 4K Steelbook cover. And this is like the slip cover on the front, first of all, to talk about this. This one, again, this is a very different, looking at them first two covers, a very different type of cover. Different arrangement, different look to it. At the top of it, it's colour scheme wise, it's a white background, and then you see side on a crow in a kind of like a blue colour, like a blue sky of this crow. The crow takes up the full screen, but inside this painted crow, you see Brandon Lee's the character, the crow, and he's looking in the distance. He's looking side on this time, and you see his character inside the crow. Different take, and I like the way they've done that. Different take here, using the crow, the actual crow, the animal, and then using him inside that with the the black and white makeup still. Above that, you've got the Brandon Lee name again in black text. And this is onto the white background now. And then the crow I think it's in a black. Yeah, it is in a black. Same font again, but a lot smaller this time in a black text. And you see in the background as well, it is a white background, but then there's kind of like dashes of rain in a light grey going along in the background, which I think is just very subtle, but it really works. And it kind of looks like an oil painted look to the edges of the crow. God, I butchered this one today, haven't I? But it's kind of like smudged the into the background to kind of give it that oil painting, like blurred effect, which really looks nice. It's a really like a painted, really artistic look here. I really like this cover. I think it's a really nice cover as well. I think the only thing I would say, I think they could have used a better photo of Brandon Lee's The Crow inside the actual crow here. I think maybe like a close-up of his face would have looked a bit cooler. But yeah, that would be my own critique with this cover. But yeah, I like this cover. I think it's a really nice one for the Steelbook. Really good-looking cover. But which one is the winner of this edition of Case Cover Collision? I think you know which one it's going to be. It is the standard 4K of The Crow. The standard 4K is brilliant. I think it's that black and white colour scheme is great. I just love the look of it. Very noir, very much the tension, the feeling of this movie put into a cover. It is fantastic. I really like it. And that is why it is this week's edition. On this week's edition of Case Collision, it is the winner.